ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is my co-host Teddy, and today we're checking out another super high-end wireless headset. But this time it's from the guys over at Steelseries. It's going to be these guys right here. The Steelseries Arctis 7 wireless gaming headset. So this one will also be quite interesting. Steelseries, generally speaking, from my perspective anyway, have made some really solid headsets over the years, and as you can see from this one straight away, this is following in their sort of Siberia 200 type, the Siberia V2s back in the day, in that type of thing with their suspension bridge design and all the rest of it. But let's jump in then with the key specs and features. So it's featuring the 40mm neodymium Steelseries S1 drivers. Now they may be familiar to you because I've used them before in the Steelseries 800s, I believe. Now as far as frequency range goes, it's 20 Hz to 22 kHz with an impedance of 32 ohms. Now wireless wise, it just uses the same as all the other ones on the 2.4 gigahertz wireless band, which is good. Better than Bluetooth in my point of view. I like them using 2.4. However, this one's a bit different. Its dongle is not just one of the normal sticks you see in the back. It's like a wires attached. It's a little bit different. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, it's there if you want to. Maybe to give you slightly better range if you put it up somewhere high, I guess. It's featuring two USB ports plus a 3.5mm jack. So one of the USB ports is there for your charging, like normal, plug it into USB port. 3.5mm jack. That's good for the people that are wanting to use this outside, on the road when you're catching a bus or on the train or whatever you may be doing. That's going to be good, and that's what a lot of people actually say is missing with quite a few PC wireless headsets, is oftentimes they do not feature a 3.5mm jack, which, it's good to have on there. Now, it also has Dolby 7.1 surround sound. That's going to be good for gamers. We'll talk about that a bit later on. And as far as battery life goes, Steelseries is saying 15 hours. In my testing, you'll probably get more like 12 to 13 hours, depending on, what you're doing. But because there's no lighting, that's not really going to be an issue either. So yeah, just expect sort of 12 to 13 hours and you won't be disappointed. So let's start with the looks then. I'll chuck them on for you. So looks wise, you're not going to be blowing anybody away with these. They're not a super eye-catching headset. They're nothing like that. They're very sort of subtle and minimalistic. They still have this kind of like industrial design to them with the middle headband. Reminds me a little bit of the Cloud Revolvers, just a bit. They're still a very different headset to those, but just a little bit with the middle headband and stuff. And that was a suspension design also. So yeah, that was something I quite liked. It's going to depend on the type of user. If you're someone that likes the some more minimalistic ones, which are better for those of you out there that are going to be wearing these outside. You don't want those super hardcore, super gamer looking ones. If you're going to be going on the bus, these are going to look a lot more subdued, which is what most of you guys would probably want. And so keeping that in mind, I think they are a good looking headset and they do what they're supposed to very well in that regard. However, looks don't count for much. What about comfort? That's the important thing there. So the suspension bridge design, what's so good about it is that pretty much anyone can just chuck these straight on. Now there is a bit of adjustment here on the left hand side. This is Velcro, but you probably won't need to do it. You can most likely just chuck these straight on. Most people will be able to. You see across the top, so the band is flexible, so it will accommodate your head. The band itself feels like the material that you would find maybe on ski goggles or something like that, or motocross goggles. That type material. So that's quite good. It's nice in that aspect, and it also more evenly distributes the weight of the headset across sort of the entire band, across your entire head, rather than just sort of like in one spot like some of them tend to do. The ear cups themselves are also quite good. They got this like mesh material on there. They don't feel too hot. They don't clamp too hard. they're just very, very comfortable around the ears. Just a very nice amount of padding there. I really like it. I think they feel fantastic. You see, like I can push them, and there's a bit of flex there. That's good. That nice cushioning. They don't, yeah, as I said, they don't feel too clamping or anything like that. And all in all, comfort wise, it doesn't feel too heavy on my head. I don't feel the weight too much up high. There's not a huge amount of clamping force. Overall, they're very, very good in terms of comfort. Probably in my top 5 in terms of headsets I've tested in the past. Not that I can put them in order on the fly, like now I'd have to really think about it. But yeah, they're extremely comfortable. I didn't really find anything uncomfortable with them. But as always, with anything to do with peripherals, what's comfortable for me may not be comfortable for you. So I'm just letting you know my feelings on it, but I think you will find they're quite solid. Now let's move over to the sound quality. So that's important. If they don't sound good, you're never going to want to wear them, which makes it quite pointless to buy them, doesn't it? So music sounded very solid on them. It has quite a full sound, except I just wish it had a bit more punch. Now you guys must be going, oh, Kevin, this again. But it's honestly something I've run into a lot lately, is that they tend to have issues with the bass. And that, because the bass is quite mild on them, it means they don't have the punch that I would really like in the audio. That isn't the end of the world. However, I would have liked it if they did have that. So just a little bit of a critique there. Otherwise, in all other areas of the sound quality, they are very, very solid indeed, and I do not have an issue with them. When it comes to gaming, you'll want to be using the 7.1 if you're playing a competitive game or something where you want to hear what's going on around you. I used them in Overwatch, and it was very, very good. It's quite hard to describe, but when you're not using it compared to when you are, you do notice that you tend to pick things up a lot quicker in terms of who's around you. Your situational awareness, if that's the right term, goes up quite a bit. You're much more aware of what's going on around you, so it is a good thing. However, you do not want to be using that when you're doing games that do not require it, as it does degrade the sound quality quite a bit. In competitive games, you're obviously not going to care that much about it, but in other games, you might. So, yeah, only use it when you're playing those competitive type games where you want to have that little bit of an advantage. For watching movies and stuff, it's also fantastic. Really, really good like that. You can go into software and set it up a little bit, although the changes are quite mild. You do notice it a little bit going to music and all of that stuff. The noise isolation was also very, very good. It cancels out a lot of the noise around you, which is something you're always going to like to see when you're using a headset, not being able to hear things around you. I can always tell which ones are good, which ones aren't, because you chuck them on and then you speak and you hear how muffled it is by comparison. And like right now, I can hear my own voice to me sounds quite muffled. So the noise isolation is pretty solid there. And overall, sound quality wise, yeah, maybe a tiny bit more bass would have been great, but overall, still a very, very solid headset in terms of audio quality. Now let's move over to that microphone. So you can pull it out like normal on other Steelseries headsets, just like that. To use, it's okay. It's clear, but it's pretty quiet. As always, I'll let you guys judge for yourself. So this is what the Steelseries Arctis 7 microphone sounds like. I'll talk the exact same way I'm talking to you now. I will not change anything in editing. This is just the pure audio coming from this headset.
So here is the mic of the Arctis 7. This is what you'll sound like to all your friends over Skype or when you're playing together. It's pretty good for the most part. As I said, it just comes out a bit quieter. If you go up really high like this, it still sounds quite good. But if you go down very low, you can't really hear what the person is going to be saying.
Okay guys, so that should give you an idea of the mic quality there. As I said, yeah, people will be able to understand you perfectly, so it'll be good for that, but it's a little bit on the low side of things. But it is good that it tucks away nice and neat. I like it when they do this, and it doesn't look too hardcore. If you're wearing these out in public, I doubt many people would even notice the little microphone there, unless they were standing very close to you or something like that. Now, build quality wise, they feel very solid. This is quite an expensive headset, so obviously expect that metal headband's always going to be good. No, these feel solid. I cannot imagine these guys breaking anytime soon, that's for sure. Which brings us now to the conclusion, and what do I make of the SteelSeries Arctis 7 wireless gaming headset? So it's coming with pretty high-end specs and very basic looks, which is quite interesting. We don't see that often. Often you'll get headsets which have these super high-end specs and these super extravagant looks to go along with it. But not the case here, and that's something SteelSeries have done in the past, like with the 800s, for example, or another one like that with high-end specs and quite basic looks going along with it. In terms of comfort, very comfortable. I have no issues there. The headband design is very, very good, very comfortable, and also easy. You don't have to always be worrying about adjustments, stuff like that. You just chuck them on and they work, and that's really good. The audio quality was also very, very solid. You get all the controls on the headset themselves, so you don't have to be fiddling with stuff like that. Obviously, they're very self-explanatory what they do. So that's also quite good. The high price tag is going to be an issue for some people, though. So in New Zealand at Playtech, they're coming in at 329 New Zealand dollars, and over in the USA, you're going to be paying about 150 to 160 US dollars for them. Now that is an extremely high price tag when you compare it to many other headsets out there. So is it worth it? I would say to the enthusiasts out there that want a super high-end headset, yes, it is worth it. This is a very good all-rounder. It's going to do extremely well. It's going to last a long time. And I just think of it as a very good quality, high-end headset. But for those of you out there looking for something that's very good value for money, I would probably look elsewhere. You can pick up a headset that's maybe 70% as good for about half the price, which will obviously be better value for money for you. So that's how I would put it. They are worth it. It is a very good headset, fantastic headset, and I do really like it. I would own these personally if it wasn't for such a ridiculous price. But there's people out there, obviously, that have a lot more disposable income than I do, making a lot of money, and they just don't care about the price tag. They just want super solid wireless headset. And for those people out there, yeah, definitely pick it up. I can 100% say you will not be disappointed with them. But for those of you out there who maybe aren't earning so much disposable income, yeah, you could still get them and they would be solid. If you're someone that takes audio seriously, then yeah, definitely take a look at them. But there are alternatives out there at a lower price that I think would get you by just as nicely. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already, and like the video. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.